Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Tuesday, May 16th, 2023 by Gaia Blooming. I am Mimi and our energy mantra for today is I value and embody the energy of heaven on earth. And today we have Jupiter moving into Taurus, and I feel like the highest experience, the highest embodiment, the highest vibration of Jupiter and Taurus is actually heaven on earth. So let's dig into this. I have so much to say. I hope I can bring it out in ways that makes it make sense. Jupiter is the planet of goodness and luck. Jupiter is the fun teacher in school, like the teacher you can't wait to go to their class. That's Jupiter. You are going to learn so much about Taurus over the next year as Jupiter moves through Taurus, but it can be made fun. But Jupiter is not afraid of consequences. Jupiter will expand whatever energy you're bringing. So this is a really good opportunity to utilize some of that Pluto in Aquarius energy, and being very aware of our vibrational natures through this time. So, I have theories. I have so many astrological theories. I have so many theories about our experience on Earth and what it's meant to be, what it can be, versus where it's been kind of hijacked. And that hijacking is often through our own choice and our own conditioning and own patterns of vibration. So, Jupiter in Taurus, heaven on earth, the good, the pleasure, the vibrance of this earth existence. And you're like, I'm not feeling that. Same. In a lot of ways. Not fully, but you know, you guys know, the last 3 weeks have been very intense. And yet, it was the beauty, it was nature, it was the vibrance of things that saved me, as well as the kindness of people. Taurus to me, Taurus is ruled by Venus, loves pleasure, beauty, sensuality, all of the senses, even intuition or your sixth sense energy, Venus energy. So that's very strong. I also believe that Taurus is co-ruled by Gaia, Earth, which is about embracing the embodiment process, embracing the presence of being, embracing yeah, I chose to come here. Which again, I chose to come here. I chose to move through these lessons. Whew, sometimes it's like, what was I thinking? Both Joe and I have Chiron in Taurus, and sometimes I think that that's part of the Chiron in Taurus experience. But to me, Jupiter in Taurus is about reconnecting to the pleasure of being here on earth, heaven on earth, and reveling in this energy, reclaiming it, not just reconnecting, reclaiming it. It's interesting, when I was driving to the hospital through the lush Garden of Eden that Arkansas is, it's beautiful here where we live. The Ozark Mountains, the trees, the waters, it's beautiful. I was focusing on fun, finances, and feeling good. And it all feels very Taurus energy. It all feels very connected to living a good life, living the best life. Now, Taurus can also represent productivity. And somebody said to me capability today, which is such an interesting word. She was like, you think, Jupiter and Taurus is capability? And I was like, no, I think it's been hijacked. Just what I'm saying to you. I think it's been hijacked. I think Taurus really is about pleasure and beauty and reveling in that energy. It's funny because a friend who has some strong Taurus energies, we've discovered that we are overly capable. Too capable with things and have taken on so much. And that's part of the hustle mentality, the lack mentality, that earth mentality that has kind of been like, it's got to be hard to get there, right? We've got to work really hard. We've got to do all the things. I need to be good at everything to succeed kind of feeling. And that can be Taurus. Our worth can be very wrapped up in what we are bringing forth and the financial scheme of things, the financial picture of things. And yet, that's kind of like the young energy of it can get kind of tied up in that. And yet, Venus, Earth, to me, Taurus is about slowing down, connecting, presence, enjoyment, and pleasure. So Jupiter, which expands all things, is like, now I can expand your pleasure, but you may have to be willing to recognize where that lack vibration or the hustle vibration or the I am capable of doing it all and I'm going to do it all myself, which may be a little bit of that Aries energy thrown in. A little Aries sprinkled in, a little Gemini. I can do all the things sprinkled into that. And be able to relax a little bit into the trust. Now this is so potent as we are finishing up through July, through like mid-July, the North Node in Taurus. So we have these two big energies, the North Node and Jupiter, helping us align with the pleasure, the beauty, the goodness, the opposite of hustle, the relaxing into the moment. Now, this doesn't mean that you drop your capabilities. This doesn't mean that you drop your gifts, but instead of needing to be all the things to everybody, it's leaning into what your highest and best gift is. Leaning into that, holding that energy, bringing that space through joy, through pleasure. Doing the astro is so pleasurable to me. I love sitting and chatting astro. I love it. This is pleasure. Me talking to you about this. Woo! So how can we lean more into this and move away from where we get stuck into those lack patterns and the needing to be overly capable and the needing to produce and prove worth and prove money. Now I know the world is in this financial pattern right now. You know, money, it takes money to survive. However, I also believe that it doesn't have to be hard. And it doesn't have to require so much hustle. I'm still learning this myself, to be fair. But it doesn't have to. And part of this is being able to trust that vibration of pleasure. And meanwhile, noticing where the grip of lack is within you. And still got you going really strong. So, Jupiter in Taurus. We have this for a year now. Like I mentioned, Jupiter in Taurus is going to hit that 15 degrees like Mercury did and then retrograde back to 5. We are not in the shadow yet. Jupiter's just entering Taurus. And yet, we're going to have this lovely retrograde that's going to take us through some of these similar lessons that we just moved through. I also want to mention, this isn't about going overboard in pleasure. I think a lot of times overboard in pleasure is, again, that feeling of lack. And so it's recognizing when you want to hoard all the donut holes. I don't know why it's donut holes, but it's donut holes. When you want to hoard all the donut holes, or all the beautiful plants, or all the dollar bills, that is another instance of lack in another way coming through. Recognizing that and working on balance. Taurus is a deeply spiritual sign. Taurus was the season where Buddha had his, thank you, Mahalo, had his enlightenment. He's like, here for the spiritual side. Thank you, Mahalo. The Hierophant card in the Tarot is the Taurus card. And so part of this joy, part of this pleasure is recognizing the divinity in ourselves, recognizing the divinity in these lovely beings here with us, plants, rocks, animals, everything in nature, everything around us technically has that ability to connect to those baser molecules, I don't know, cells and molecules, and bring forth that energy, but connecting to the nature of things, recognizing the nature in us, and allowing this to expand. Like I'm just seeing like a vine in the jungle, having its opportunity to fully unfurl. And that's what I think is the biggest thing about Jupiter and Taurus. Can we unfurl? Now, again, I know these last few years have been super intense. God, the last 12 years have been super intense, probably since Jupiter was last in Taurus. I think that was 2011, 2012 energy, and then it's everything really sped up. But here's this chance to unfurl, relax into your beingness, relax into trust of the universe, call in that vibration of heaven on earth. Can you live heaven on earth, if even for a moment, if even when you wake up smelling your coffee, cuddling your cat, holding the hand of your lover, looking outside at the sunrise or the sunset? He is all for this. Can you connect into that energy? Because we are the ones ushering in the new age. We are the ones who are bringing about change. And I know it's not always easy, but I do think we've got this. So we're getting beyond the illusion of needing to be everything, and instead connecting into our highest and best, our most favorite selves, our gifts, our offerings, our truest pieces. It's so interesting because there's people who are lots of things are going down in the world, make sure you've got something you can offer. And I always question, I'm like, really? When so much is going bad in the world, are people going to want to pay for an astrologer? I question that. And yet this is my calling. I was dragged here somewhat kicking and screaming, and yet enjoying it all the way as well. So getting beyond the illusions that is out there, getting beyond those fear vibrations, that's part of those nodal energies, and recognizing even the Venus, even the Taurus in this, hard times require furious dancing. When you shake it off, shake it off, shake it out, shake it out. I don't even know what those lyrics are. Shake off those energies to connect with this new, higher vision, again, of heaven and earth. Heaven on earth. Breaking through these old paradigm conditionings that we have lived and owned and taken on as our own things. What is it? God, I can't even think of them right now because my brain is no thank you. No pain, no gain. And instead, it was eat, drink, and be merry. I'm not going to sit for the second part because it doesn't matter the second part. It's just do it. Be merry. Find that merry. Find that joy. Find that heaven on earth. Again, within measure, and recognizing when the overboard is happening. That is lack. Even if it's just lack of recognizing the goodness of everything. I love the final card that I have here. It's the traveling card. This is a trip. This is a big trip. This is a big shift. And yet it's entirely possible. I love this card because this card always speaks to me of having baggage. That there is baggage that you need to put down to make this trip, to fully embrace this new envision. The dancing will help, but also recognizing where you are holding those old fallacies, that old conditioning, thinking that it has to be hard, thinking that lack's real, any of those things. That is what we're putting down as we are embracing heaven on earth. And I'm right here in it with you. So, speaking of all this, I am going to be doing in my Patreon group kind of focus points per sign, later this week for the new moon. Probably on Friday. So you can join my Patreon if you want that, or even if you just want like a one-off episode, message me and you can send me a little money and I will happily share it with you. That being said, because of how it's affecting Sagittarius, you will be seeing my little environment here change, and I'm hoping, I've been wanting for so long to bring in a few more plants to this area. So let's see how this unfolds. I was going to do that before everything happened with Joe, and the universe is like, stall. Now it's time. Jupiter, your ruling planet, in your 6th house. Let's do this, Sagittarius. So, that is it for today. You can book a reading with me. Email me, mimiclark@gmail.com. If you want to dig deeper into Jupiter and Taurus and what this means for you, let's dig. Besides that, the better it gets, the better it gets. There's more than enough love in the world for you. You have the power, and honor your values. Namaste.